Tonight's event is all about casting a vision, and who better to speak on that than those who have been there before, our current and former governors of Hawaii. For the first graders at YNI Elementary School, it was Christmas in August. Servco Pacific brought backpacks full of school supplies to ensure the students' success. Hi, I'm Lia Kamana with RKT Media, and we are here at the Royal Hawaiian celebrating its 90th anniversary. Yes. Last night we learned just why international athletes want to come to America. But tonight we will hear from 3 UH coaches on why they want these players on their team. Normally this place would be packed, but as you can see behind me, the lines are very short, which makes it much more enjoyable for the employees and the people they brought to spend the day with.
This is a pretty low-scoring game. It's 2-0 at half right now. Is that pretty standard when you guys play Michigan State?
And tons of celebration, with many of the guests that have stayed here for years and years. This celebration is really for them and their support for this amazing hotel.
Coming from another country, a lot of times language, I'm sure, is an adjustment. What have you found to be the biggest adjustment?
With the 3 athletes that I spoke with, language was the biggest thing that they all kind of agreed upon. Most of them, I mean, English is not their first language, and so, they learned it in school, and oftentimes they're still not very comfortable with it when they come here. So it's kind of learning on the fly when you really think about it. But surprisingly, none of them mentioned food, which I thought would have been a big one, but nope. It's been 4 months since Hawaii's own Brad Tavares last set foot in the octagon. Despite the time away from the mat, the 25-year-old hasn't forgotten the game plan that's made him one of the most exciting young fighters in the UFC. University of Hawaii women's golfer Izzy Leong wasn't ready to give up golf upon graduating high school. The idea of postponing college didn't sit right with her either. So she decided to travel nearly halfway around the world so she could do both.
I think it was when I was 14. That's when, there's older kids who were playing golf and they got into colleges. That's when I started to realize that there was such an opportunity, and that's when I started looking.
The US is the only place in the world that supports the idea of a student athlete. UH has 80 international student athletes spanning 27 countries. It can be daunting for anyone being away from home for the first time. Add language and cultural barriers, and you're in a very different ballpark. But find a similarity, and it might just feel like home.
In Brazil, when we meet someone, we usually kiss and hug. And when I first moved to California, people would just, give me their hand. And when I came here, I saw that people kiss and hug. So I thought that's very similar.
Finding a family away from home or others from their country helped to shrink the distance.
Since we are 5 German players, we have a little German, we brought German culture over here. It's always nice to have somebody here who speaks your own language.
They make us feel like a big family. So it's not like I'm from Brazil and there are girls from Spain or the Netherlands. It's just we're a big ohana.
While the transition can be difficult, it's an experience one can't get anywhere else.
For the sports teams here, since UH or the college teams of our school are sort of the biggest sports team on the island, or the biggest sports teams, we have the warrior spirit, and we always have a lot of fans for every sport cheering for us, and that just creates a great atmosphere for all student athletes here.
The power of a wish is what brought Make-A-Wish Hawaii and Servco Lexus together for the 3rd annual Waffles for Wishes event.
It's such an honor to be invited to help support Servco and to come and do community projects. I think the heroes of society is just wonderful. Make-A-Wish Foundation is really good for the community, and the things they do is so heartwarming.
Guests got to taste unique waffle creations by different local food vendors, enjoy free haircuts, and interact with individuals from all levels of society who came together for one cause.
It is a boozy brunch and a really fun way to engage our young professionals and the members of our community in helping to make wishes come true.
The highlight of the day was when Heroes for Hope granted 4-year-old Nainoa Higa and his family a dream vacation to Disneyland. And to top it off, there to help with the surprise were some of Nainoa's favorite superheroes.
during his whole treatment, there were ups and downs, and during those down moments, it's really good for him to know that, you know, you can go to Disneyland when this is all done. It helped motivate him, and, you know, when he had to do the really difficult parts, staying overnights for a long period of time, knowing that, well, when I'm done, I get to do something fun, helped him get through it all.
A year ago, Nainoa was diagnosed with rhabdomyosarcoma and has endured surgery, chemotherapy, and long stays in the hospital. It's kids like Nainoa and families like the Higas that led Surfco Lexus to be a gold-level sponsor.
Anytime you're dealing with children who are battling illnesses, it's so appreciative. You turn around and you realize how fortunate we are and how lucky we are, and just even having the opportunity to give back, it's such an honor.
I like to punch people in the face. Like, I don't want to, you know, I don't mind the grappling, I don't mind the jiu-jitsu, but that's what I like to do, punch people in the face. So that's my game plan, you know, punch this guy in the face and get the win with by any means necessary.
The guy that Tavares is referencing to is his upcoming opponent, Bubba McDaniel. McDaniel, like Tavares, is from The Ultimate Fighter, and the two are set to square up against each other in the cage on August 28th in Indianapolis, Indiana.
I really want to beat Bubba McDaniel in, you know, in like a devastating fashion. I'd like to knock him out, submit him. I love to finish him. I try to do that in every fight, but I really want to get this because, you know, I want to get that notoriety.
2 fights a year has been the norm for Tavares and most other UFC fighters due to the fact that there are tons of fighters on the roster and not nearly enough fights. Tavares, who has been bugging management and matchmaker Joe Silva about fight opportunities, is hoping that by beating McDaniel, more fights will come his way.
My ultimate goal in the fight game is to get that belt, you know, that's what I'm here for. I want to get to the top. I want to beat the best, and I want to be the UFC's middleweight champion eventually. That is by far my ultimate goal.
Tavares is part of the UFC Fight Night card. It's the company's debut on the Fox Sports 1 network. It all begins August 28th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Lia Kamana, Hawaii News Now. It's a dream come true for athletes from overseas to come to America and participate in college athletics. But the athletes aren't the only winners in this scenario.
The top schools in the United States are always going to get the top Americans, and coaches tend to be competitive, so we do like to win. And so a lot of the foreign athletes will want to come in, and that's where we can compete with any of the top teams in the country.
Here, college is usually a stepping stone towards the professional level of play. But many international athletes come to UH with elite competition experience.
Most of them, because school is so expensive, need a significant amount of scholarship, which puts them at a very elite level, usually within their country. They're at a level of to where they can compete at a World University Games, a World Championships, Pan American Games, an Olympic team, things like that.
The 80 international athletes at UH are spread amongst 17 of the 21 sports teams, with swimming and diving, tennis, and water polo having the largest international rosters. Helping build these numbers are the pipelines coaches have set up with the support of former teammates and players.
You know, I played internationally, so I definitely knew players, and players that I played against are now coaching their national teams and club coaches around the world, so I'm able to communicate really well with them. But mostly, I'd say it's the girls that have come to Hawaii and have just fallen in love. And then they go back to their countries, and it spreads.
At the University of Hawaii, the mix of internationals and Americans has allowed teams to create a style all their own.
Because a lot of the foreign athletes have grown up on clay, they play a different style game. They play very smart, they're changing speed, spin, location a lot. The American kids grew up on hard court, so they're used to power.
Their style of play is different, so it's great for all sides, me included, to just learn different ways to move in the water, different tactics, different ways people do things, and we kind of mold it into the Hawaii water polo way, and it works out pretty well for us.